we're live. I think we're live. Wow. So if anybody hears us, I think we're live. All right. Let me see. Can we maybe do this like a full screen thing? Yes. All right. Okay. Maybe get some feedback from the audience also. Maybe we can even bring this up. See, this is the one thing that we did not do. Really properly set this up. I know. Yeah. I think we're live.
They're asking, can we hear them? We are live.
We are live.
Confirmation.
I think we're live.
We are.
Confirmation. Anyone?
It says
You're live. Okay, great. Thank you. So we are live. Very much, very happy here to have you all. So my name is Jan Rosner. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of One Earth Rising. And we have here in the back also, here in the Burl Basham, my co-founder and CEO of One Earth Rising. And we are game developer. We are developing social impact games. Social impact games that the first one that we just launched on PlayStation is called Paraiso Island, which we'll play tonight. And the focus here is to support a non-profit organization like our partners, All Hands and Hearts, that are engaged in the rebuilding process after hurricanes, after disasters, and to help them finance and create a sustainable source of income through gaming by sharing net revenue and profits from our game with the organization. So for you as the players, we would like to provide a playful path to social impact through that, and just have fun while you're doing that for a good cause. So that being said, I just wanted to get around the room here and just introduce the people. So Sophia.
Hey, I'm Sophia. I'm the program director with All Hands and Hearts in Houston.
And Christina.
I'm Christina Winner. I'm the corporate relations manager, and I'm all over.
All over.
All over.
And we got Andy.
I'm Andy. I'm a volunteer for All Hands and Hearts.
And Andy is volunteering today also to play the game, so he will do his very best. Paraiso Island, just to introduce you briefly here into that as well, is a simulation game, so very similar to Sims or other games of that kind that you have maybe heard about in the past. And like I said, currently available for free on PlayStation. And as you can see, there's more people here. It's not just us in the room. And so I prepared this little thing. I hope that this works properly, that I can show the room with you, or share the room with you rather, and show you how our setup is here. So, we're talking about disaster relief. We have to work with what we've got. And so this is beautiful here. You get a good sense of how this looks like, where All Hands and Heart is currently working out of here in Houston. And yeah, I don't think we mentioned that we are in Houston. We got peeps here. Here we go. We got people here, Houston, and here we go. All right, so that's enough about us. Let's talk about the game, and let's see what's happening.
They're asking us to speak up a little bit.
To speak up, okay.
To
Then
speak louder.
I rarely ever get told that.
all right, let's see. I just changed the volume setting. Let's see, is that better? And this is the first time also. I hope everybody got that, right? So then please excuse if we have some minor starting issues here. So let us know if you can hear us now better. And now we get into the game. Here we go, my goodness. This is also modern. Cool. So, while Andy is playing, like I said, this is a simulation game. You are playing this iguana that you can see here right now. You're on Paraiso Island and you are building things. You are engaging with the community. You're building a community. Every day there are new challenges. You're engaging with the different characters. There are different things to explore. Different things to unlock. We have a hotel that you can furnish and get ratings on your virtual Yelp account. You get a restaurant update where you can cook 10 vegan Caribbean dishes, learn about them. You also have to buy and grow and harvest the crops for that and all the different foods. You have so many different updates, and one of the things that I wanted to highlight for today and later on again is the Bahamas Relief add-on that we just launched, which is, here we go, The Bahamas relief effort, relief add-on, the natural add-on. Here, 100% of all profits and all money that comes in through that purchase will be shared with All Hands and Hearts and donated to support the Bahamas relief efforts directly and program. So with that, while Andy is exploring the island, I want to give it a little bit to Sophia. And please also, I want to encourage everybody here to send us questions and anything. The wonderful team in the back end of All Hands and Hearts will answer them as they can, and if they're directly towards us, we'll then also directly answer them here. So, and I would like to ask you guys directly, tell me more about the disaster relief work that you're doing here in Houston, but also obviously in the Caribbean and wherever you are.
Yeah, absolutely. In Texas, we've been here for over 2 years since Hurricane Harvey hit in August 2017. So we have 2 Texas programs that are open. One is in the Coastal Bend area, one is in Houston, where we are now. In the early stages of our relief efforts, we were doing a lot of mucking and gutting and debris removal. And since we've moved into the recovery in early 2018, we have been doing interior rebuilds. So just like from, everything, interior rebuilds, mudding, taping, sanding, framing, hanging drywall, all the things.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so what's the most challenging experiences, or what is the most challenging starting point maybe, or maybe it's along the way, or maybe it's at the end? Where do you face the most challenges in the process?
Well, I think it can be very mentally taxing to work in an area that has been just been affected by a disaster, especially if you haven't done that before. And if you haven't ever done construction work before, that can be a little bit daunting. And then just also a communal living environment is not for everyone, so that is also something to consider. So yeah, there's a bunch of things. And also, if you're just starting work on a home, sometimes it's really hard to see like the end result because it's such a slow process. Like the response during response work, like it's very quick. Like you might see results more quickly, but when you're rebuilding a home, it can take months. So yeah, we have to remind ourselves why we're here and the people that we're serving and what we ultimately want to do.
Wonderful. And I think we still have a little bit of a volume issue. So maybe we we tucked ourselves fancily up with these lav mics. So maybe we just take them off and just use them here directly as mics and see if that works better. Hopefully now it's not too loud. Perfect. So by the way, let me just add to this, because what we saw here today also, Beryl and I, when we arrived, and we had we were lucky enough to sit in at your volunteer meeting, and what really struck me is the happiness, the perseverance, and the whole camaraderie that is at display here, which was amazing. Really sitting there listening to the guys and girls, and they were all super stoked what they're doing, going through the room, what they have done, going through the room, shouting out other people. There was really that whole the group dynamic and the happiness that comes through that is really amazing. Really kudos to you.
Any program you go to, you're going to experience the same thing. It
That's
absolutely is an all hands and hearts thing.
Great. I mean, you really want to be part of this community.
The nightly volunteer meeting is really like the one time of the day where we all get to come together and talk about our day and have dinner together and just like give each other shout outs. So yeah, that's usually where the energy, like besides on the work site, where the energy is the highest.
How many meetings are there during the day?
There's just one for all the volunteers, like one per day, usually just right after work. And then the staff has their own meetings like a couple times a week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. So then here Andy just walked into the kitchen. This is what I mentioned earlier. Walked into the kitchen. A shark Fang Pug is giving you a little tutorial what you have to do. Learn about the different dishes, then get everything ready. Now you would just learn what is to do in the beginning. Chop some bananas. Obviously very important daily task. and how to put the dishes together. So what was, just as a little side note, we had the opportunity just recently to work with another non-profit organization called Green Beats, and we just went to their event, and there were a bunch of kids where I have to say, by the way, this game, although it looks like it's done and made for kids, but it's actually played mostly by people between 20 and 35. That's our demographic that downloads the game, and 39% are women. So that's a great, group of people that we have there. However, we were lucky enough to also test that with kids, and it was fun to see that the kids were picking up all the learnings around the food so fast, and they learned how to do mofongo. And the mother was looking at me and was like, "What the? He doesn't even know how to cook water." So and they were teaching each other. So it's a great, great display of how games can influence the educational aspects in life, and just by having fun while doing it. So on the volunteer side, if I may ask, Andy, I don't know if it's too tasking maybe at the same time, how it is, what made you become a volunteer?
Well, my sister did it. Here we go. First of all, she did it early last year, and so I thought that it was something I wanted to do while kind of leaving college. I wanted to have a little kind of bookend between college and the next step, and so then I was going to only stay for a month, but I ended up staying for 4 and counting. So yeah, I didn't really realize that I would fall in love with the work so much. I was actually thinking, a month, I don't know if I could even, do all of this stuff, this labor and stuff, because I'd never done it before. I never used a power tool before.
Labor is the hardest.
Yeah. So
We make it fun though.
it is, and it's it feels like you're really learning a skill that is going to help you forever. It's now I can screw a shelf into the wall if I really want a shelf there. So
Fantastic. So when you move, you can actually then also prep your own rooms and
exactly.
get everything up there.
Yeah, before I'd be scared to hang a picture because I'm there's going to be a hole there. What am I going to do? Yeah. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it gave you the self-confidence of hanging pictures now yourself.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to hang so many pictures.
So many pictures, so many pictures in the wall. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And do we have any questions, by the way? Is there anything that people want to know or want to ask? Now is the chance. Can be anything about, cannot be anything, but could be preferably something about All Hands and Hearts, about the work, or about the game, or how our, collaboration is working. And so maybe then I just jump into that, right? So when the whole process, how we got into this concept of social impact gaming actually started back then, when we were looking what was happening in Puerto Rico, and my business partner and I, we had worked on another game for a nonprofit which really exploded in regards to visibility and really helped them. And so what we decided to do is that we wanted to do something to just raise awareness for Puerto Rico back then. That was the initial thought. And so this whole initial approach when we started this really grew and grew and grew, and more people jumped on the bandwagon and thought okay, that's great. We have something that is fun that we can use to educate people, and at the same time obviously also to raise funds where, like I said this earlier, a sustainable source of income for nonprofit through games. That's kind of the essence of why we started doing this, and kind of maybe the essence, we started a little bit with a different approach, but then had different inputs how we wanted to make this bigger. And we were lucky enough then also to meet through contacts of our own with the team at All Hands and Hearts, and obviously the work that you guys are doing is amazing in all the different places where you are. And so we're lucky enough to have you now as our partner, and hopefully we can make this all together bigger and work together for a long time.
It's a natural partnership, I think. People doing good from two different sides of the screen. We have programs in Nepal, Peru, Philippines, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, Mozambique as well. And many of these places we're going back to. So these are disasters that happened a long time ago, and we like to say we come first and we stay to the last, long after the media has walked away, and usually to a small place. It doesn't have as much funding or as much media coverage to start with. So I love the idea of this being something that globally too is appealing. Our volunteers are global, our projects are global, and so having people have something they can interact with, it seems to me, I was just kind of looking at it thinking if language would be a barrier, but I think because of what they're doing, you're seeing what they're doing. I think it's a great way to kind of take that big global circle and pull it a little bit closer.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, exactly that was what we were hoping for.
We actually have a question.
Oh, we do? Fantastic.
Yes, from Valerie Patterson in LA. She's asking when the game will be available on other platforms.
That's a good question. So, currently for free, available on PlayStation in the US and in Europe, and we are planning to hit mobile in the beginning of March, and very soon also on Xbox. Those are the next platforms that we will be. We have no launch date yet on Xbox, but that's what's coming next.
Great.
Thank you, Valerie, for the question.
Absolutely.
And here, keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming. Also, give us a little feedback. If you like what you see, if obviously, you can see the room A is focused on the game, but at the same time, also we have a lot of fun here. So I think that's a good thing. It's a lot of fun, and I would like to do this more often, and hope. We would love to hear if you would like to see something like that also more often. Different settings, different whatever, but we'd love to hear your feedback on that. And I would love to hear a little bit more also. You mentioned a couple of the places that you're active in, but also what I heard which really resonated with me is the fact that you are also, or the most challenging part of often is not in the beginning. I mean, obviously for the people that are in the area that suffer there, obviously that's one of the hardest things to endure. But for your work, it's, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but most of the time also the end, or not the end, but like further down in there, because everybody jumps on kind of like the support opportunity in the beginning, but as you mentioned before, you are staying here for the long term.
Yeah. Yes, and especially when programs have been going on for a while, like the Texas programs, it's a lot of people may not know that the program is still running, or that which disaster we're even responding to. Like, it's very common to get questions even in the community about, what hurricane are you responding to? And then I'll say, Harvey, and the response is, but that happened over 2 years ago. So yeah, I think it really resonates with people when we say that we're still responding to a disaster that happened so long ago, but there's still so much work to be done.
Yep.
Looks like our friend Valerie has a little bit more information that she'd like.
Fantastic, Valerie. You're a rock star.
She wants to know if there's plans to make the game available on mobile, and also if it will be multiplayer.
Wonderful, yeah. So the game is planned to come out on mobile in the beginning of March, and so it definitely will become also a multiplayer game, so that you can explore and work on an island with your friends and explore other islands with your friends. We also, expanding obviously the island. Like I said in the beginning, it's a free-to-play game right now, where you can purchase in the game. You can purchase different items. For example, the Bahamas relief item, the Bahamas Raccoon, where 100% actually goes to the All Hands and Hearts Bahama Relief Project. So those items are for purchase in the game, but there are other things that will just be added, and the game will become bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's always more content, more things to explore, and multiplayer is a very important part of that gameplay as well, and one of the most fun parts, and that will come soon. No specific date yet, but hopefully within the next couple of months.
Great. And to piggyback on what Sophia was saying, it often is the case that we stay long. Puerto Rico is a really great, for instance. September 2017 was when they were struck, and we are still there. And I think everybody's heard that there's more going on there, but we are standing strong and continuing to service that community. The Bahamas is also likely to be quite a long program through probably fall of 2021. So it is important to keep that in the forefront as much as we can. It's another reason why I really love this idea, both for the idea of making sure that everyone knows that these people are still there, they're still suffering, that we have plenty of volunteers that want to come. I've had people who have said, oh, I wanted to go, but I know that that's probably over. It's like, it's not over. You can go. You can still go to that. And obviously for donations as well. So I think we have things as long as 2 months, then we have programs that are 2 years, then we have programs that we do and we keep going back to the Philippines, Nepal. And unfortunately, the world being what it is, disasters will continue to happen and will continue to have a purpose.
So it's fair to say, I mean, I don't probably need to highlight that money is always welcome, right?
Oh, sure.
But the support or active supporters, active volunteers can always find a spot where
Absolutely.
they're
And it's different
are
than
needed.
a lot of other places. I had a lot of folks that came when our North Carolina project was open that said, this was really a different experience than I had previously. There was a lot of red tape, and I had to raise a certain amount of money before I could go. And when I got there, and it seems like I signed up and I got to go. And the philosophy that David Campbell has had since the beginning is there's people who want to come and help, and just a way to let them come and help. So that there's no Kool-Aid to drink. I always joke and say we don't drink Kool-Aid here, we drink coffee. So it's in the coffee.
It's in the coffee.
That same group, there was a group of 3 gentlemen who were celebrating their 50th birthday, and they were really, you could just read it on them. They were very, very nervous, and they were so thrilled when they left. Tears in the eyes, because we also encourage that interaction with the community and to really form those relationships. And we were talking about what's the toughest part. That is one of the hardest things, is even when we were in North Carolina for a year, they knew the whole time when we were going, but it was just really, really hard. But it's lovely because we stay in contact with those people, and they're a good resource for us as well too when we check back, because that's something we do. We like to check on our work and see how people are feeling about when we were there. So it's a good thing that just continues.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think I had this conversation also today earlier at the dinner table, which was which was amazing, by the way. Also, there was
Chefs are in the room.
Chefs are in the room. Exactly. This was a fantastic dinner, and it was so great in the community, with the community. So the conversation that we had is really also, how do you keep yourself motivated over that course of a time, specifically in an area like where disaster happened, because there's so much to do that you're almost overwhelmed where to start, where to stop, and how do you see progress, right? And I think the conversation that we had earlier was basically you have to do step by step and focus on the smaller steps where you can actually accomplish something. And then when you look back, like you mentioned a reference to growing up, seeing your kids grow up, right? You don't really realize how the kids grow up unless you take a look at the picture, an older picture, or you're just like haven't seen them for a while. So if you go back and then see them again, this is where the change happens. And no, it's very, very interesting. Very great people.
I believe we have another question.
Oh, here.
And a message from Logan Blale.
There we go.
Who's Logan Blale?
He was a site soup trainee here for a while.
There we go.
So Valerie wanted to know.
Valerie, rockstar Valerie.
I like it. Valerie's going to get all this information out of us, so that's fantastic. Thank you, Valerie. She wants to know if there are any plans for a tournament.
Wow, yeah. Valerie, you are a rock star here. Yes. Tournament. So, yes. In the very early stages, we're in the planning phases for that. There's actually a couple of other things that we want to roll out first and then bring this together where the tournament is most interesting. Because, so right now this is a simulation game where, as you can see, this game basically never ends. So you can play this forever if you want to, if you should, obviously.
Absolutely.
And then in the simulation game, there is if you compare that in the tournament, you normally have something that's more active, fast, and change around. But that's what we are working on. We're working on a mode that makes this a little bit more time challenging, and you have to solve issues in a fast or in a short amount of time, where a tournament then would actually make a lot of sense. So that's what we're working on currently. So wow, you're really you're pulling all this information out of us. Great, I love that. That is fantastic.
Looks like we have another one.
And another
Thanks
one.
so much, Valerie.
Valerie, you're a rock star.
Logan says, I don't know what's going on here, but I support it 100%.
Fantastic. So he's not okay. So maybe I don't know how many people now watching, and obviously some leave and some are
Oh,
coming
we have
back.
one more question as well from Blair Basham. Would you be able to align with esports in some way to impact disasters to relief?
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you, Blair. So for that, so esports, esports obviously is currently a very hot topic, maybe sometimes also a little bit misunderstood. By the way, if you look at the screen, sorry for interrupting, but that is Netherlands from the Bahamas Relief program. So that's her challenges and everything that she's putting out there. So everything that you're doing with that, the challenges that you engage with, that supports directly the Bahamas Relief Project. Yeah, Bahamas Raccoon. Didn't know that exists. Now I'm much wiser. So back to Blair. So esports is interesting. So what One is Rising wants to do, this is the beginning, and I would like to kind of like expand on this a little bit, saying, and some people might not notice that the entertainment industry, the three main pillars, be music, movies, and video games. The entertainment industry, the video game industry is the largest industry in that entertainment bracket. So we have the the video game industry is 3 times bigger in terms of revenue than music and movie combined. So it's a huge mammoth, and we have so much power with that. And hopefully I don't offend anyone saying that, but not the majority, but many people think, video games, it's, the chubby kid in the basement without friends that's playing video games. That's that. It's not the case. It's not. I don't know. May has been the case, decades ago. But it's people from all levels of society. In the US alone, more than 155 million people play video games, and the average age is 33. So that's a good amount of people with a good, solid age that can make decisions, that can support things, that you can reach and educate them, and that you can have a lot of fun with. So that's where we as One is Rising, we want to broaden our field of engagement. Paraiso Island being the first game here, having other games in the process of being developed currently. So but the focus always being on social impact. So if we find that gap also within the esports environment, then of course it's not on our roadmap currently, but it's definitely in the cards.
Cool. Looks like we've got something for you.
Oh, yes, I forgot to explain. Logan was a site supervisor in training with us. Site supervisors are the ones that go out to the construction sites, the different houses, and lead our volunteers and teach them how to use various types of power tools and how to rebuild homes. And yeah, Logan was with us for a few months.
Wonderful. That explains
Thanks
more.
for watching, Logan.
Thanks for watching, Logan, and hopefully it becomes clearer what we're doing over time here. So for everyone who just tuned in, welcome. And so we are playing Paraiso Island, which is a island simulation, and with it, in the concept, a disaster relief game. We are partnering with All Hands and Hearts and share our profits from the game with them, so that we create a sustainable source of revenue through games. And for all you players out there that want to play the game, create a playful path to social impact. Fantastic. So, Andy,
Yes.
how you feeling so far? I know that you are more an active action player and PC gamer,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like a little bit of a sidewalk here, getting into the whole PlayStation environment and simulation gaming environment.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a fair number of those, but it's been kind of a while. But it's fun. I mean, first of all, I really love the art style. It's like something that's been striking the whole time, and like the character design and all of that. I'm probably just embarrassing myself in front of all the simulation
The million of people that are watching right now.
Well, I mean,
No
I'm like
pressure.
struggling to like cut bananas. I don't know if anyone caught it, but the kids were better about cutting bananas apparently. Yeah,
I have all the time problems cutting bananas. I feel you. I'm with that.
Yeah. So now I'm assuming that I'm gonna plant some seeds here.
Plant the seeds.
Banana seeds,
More
just
bananas.
just to remind me. Yeah. All right, beautiful. And I've also been trying to find a coconut because there's like 2 people who want coconuts, and so wait, I could just make a coconut tree. All right. See, I'm figuring this out in real time, so this is good. This is good.
Yeah. So you're happy with what you're doing so far?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we are definitely happy with what you're doing. I mean, so there's all these different characters that you see in the game. They all have their different things to do. Some of them have been, or ended stranded on that, like Nudu in the beginning. That's this little bat. She was washed ashore, and her island was hit by a hurricane, and she has a little broken wing, limps up the shore, and that's how the whole thing starts. As our main character here, to help her and help the islanders, and that's where you venture out and you help all these different animals here to settle in their new community, make it a little bit more pretty, and interior design all the different houses. Whatever you want to do on this island, really, the world is your oyster, and we'll add more and more over time.
We actually have another question from Valerie. She asks, how about having a benefit concert in the game?
Valerie, are you in my head?
Kind of scenario.
Do we know each other? So yeah, this is actually something we're very actively working on, with also our business partners, our investors. We have a big leap forward planned with integration of music. We can't really give too much out currently, but this is coming very soon. So definitely sign up for the newsletter, because then you will be the first to know. There's a lot of music being added very soon. There's a lot of different aspects of that. The kind of like side partners in the entertainment industry that we want to integrate here as well. And with that, I mean, our plan, we have currently about 250,000 players that spend an average of 90 minutes in the game. That's a good amount of time. But we want to grow that to 3 million by the end of this year. So every download is welcome. And with that, obviously, open the door for more impact, for more also, fun, obviously, and a little bit of education if we can.
I think it's wonderful too, because there are people who aren't aware that even it strikes me, it's something I talk about every day, they aren't even aware that these types of organizations exist. They know what United Way is, they know, a couple other things, but they don't know that there are grassroots organizations out there going out there and helping people. And I think that this is a really great way to not only have fun and give to a good cause, but also just learn about it, understand what's going on in your world around you, and how maybe you can be a part of that in whatever way you choose. We don't box people. We don't only take people with skills. We pretty much, if you want to get here, you get here. We'll take care of you. We'll make sure you get fed, and you'll learn how to do something. And if you don't like that, we'll teach you how to do something else. So this is exciting to me too, to see where that could drive that opportunity for people who would never have thought that they could do it, to realize, well, wait, maybe there's some things I could do.
Yeah, I mean, we can only sit back, so to speak, and watch the amazing work that you guys are doing, and we are no more than an amplifier. Hopefully an amplifier that looks good. I mean, kudos to our creative director, Luke Bernard, who's really the driving force on these beautiful visual assets, and obviously the game design. And so with that, that we, everything we can do to help to get the voice out that you guys exist and that you do this amazing work. So that's where,
We have another question from a previous volunteer, actually.
Who?
Matt Janko was in North Carolina, and he was a wonderful asset there, as well as an adorable person. He asked, will the multiplayer be online?
Yes, multiplayer will be online eventually. We'll start with local co-op, and but then we'll be online. And hopefully Luke is not stoning me for that, because I'm off the head. I just threw this off the top of my head. So if it's the other way around, don't quote me on that. But yeah, we'll be eventually also online. Absolutely.
Terrific.
Yeah. So, and I want to highlight again, thank you, the voice from the off in my head. So whoever just joined newly here. So that game, Paraiso Island, what you're just seeing here right now, is for download for free on PlayStation currently, soon to come to mobile, soon to come to Xbox and other platforms. But more importantly, so what we do here within the game is that we in the free-to-play game, you can purchase items in the game, and of those purchases, 30%, up to 30%, we share with All Hands and Hearts. But we have one DLC which is downloadable content. This is the Bahamas Raccoon. She, when you download her and pay for her, 100% of this goes to All Hands and Hearts Bahamas Relief Project. So you have fun, you download that, you know, enjoy everything around that, and chop up some wood and support Netherland, and we'll give 100% of that to All Hands and Hearts.
Terrific. I think also remember that much like we've always discussed, there's more than one way to take part in what we do. You can volunteer, you can donate, you can get the word out by word of mouth, but also social media and sharing this game and what we're doing here. That helps build support for this as well as our programs. So it's a great thing to share with your friends. Even if you don't think that they would be interested in this kind of thing. I have a 56-year-old I have to constantly get his attention, who's got his face, but maybe he's a little mature, I don't know. But if you put that out there to social media, you never know who's going to see it. And I always say that. It's like you don't know. It may not be somebody you directly know, but if your friends share it and your friends share it, it'll just keep going. So it's a great way to empower people to make a big difference just by simply sharing.
That's a very good segue also, where I wanted to ask you, what is the best, or what are the ways that people can support, right? And how would they do it? I mean, we talked about, you know, donating, obviously, and actively working as a volunteer, but what are other ways, and where would they find information about that?
We have a wish list on Amazon as well. Our website is a good place to look as well for information. Each of the individual programs have their personal sites, so there's usually a little bit of information there as well. Our volunteers are both individuals as well as we make corporate partnerships and help them with their employee engagement, and we bring groups of people out. In fact, Matt Janko was one of those people, and they came out as a group, and it was really, you know, we talked about, I know Brett was talking to you about, it was cool to watch people learn things and feel, you know, involved and you know, excited that they never did something. So this group of people is from a large company. I don't know that I'm allowed to say it, so I'm not gonna. But it didn't occur to me, but literally when they were there, it suddenly started to, they all work for the same company, but they weren't from the same offices. They were from all over. And so they got a chance to visit with each other and make friends and work together, and they were just having a ball. They loved it, and they've stayed in contact. So those corporate partners, we go to them asking to, you know, join us on our mission in every way possible. We also have skills-based support. So if you have a group of folks who can't get out and go to a program, they may know something or be able to help, you know, through IT or engineering. There may be something that they can do to contribute in that way. And you know, we also have the capability of being small enough, we're large enough and small enough, that if you've got an idea and we're not doing it currently, you know, please go to our website and do a query. If you're a company that says, well, we'd really like to do this, let us know. We are always open to change. You kind of have to be, because this is constantly an evolving type of situation, and we do the best we can to make our budgets and project what our programs are going to be, but obviously things change. So we like to be as open back with people giving to us or giving of their time.
Amazing.
Yep. We have another question from Logan. He asks, did you guys already do a little background story intro for everyone there? I'm curious to how this all came together. However it did, I'm a fan. Keep up the good work, everyone.
Very good. Yeah, so let me do that again. And thank you, Logan. Thank you. See, this is beautiful. Sorry, before I answer, or before I give a little, you know, shout out here in the room. That's beautiful. That really resonates so much with me. What I've seen earlier today in the kitchen and down there when you guys had our volunteer meeting. There's so much power and there's so much love in this room, and so much respect for each other, and so much dedication also, that this whole the project. I mean, this group here, this one small group, supporting each other, supporting the cause, really working for the community here to try to make a means in rebuilding, and but working together here, and this perseverance. I mean, kudos. It's incredible.
We're
And
a
it seems,
community. We build a community who goes out and serves.
yeah, and it shows, absolutely. Obviously here, Logan, big fan, so definitely it shows. It's great. And yeah, so I would like to give another shout out. So whoever now just jumped on the stream and hasn't started from the beginning. So my name is Jan Rosner. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of One Earth Rising, which is a social impact gaming video game company. And we are here, or I am accompanied by my co-founder and COO, Beryl Basham.
You do the Jan Cam.
The Jan Cam, exactly. So I have to switch on my Jan Cam in a second. So, but more importantly, we are here today in Houston in the All Hands and Hearts. How do you call it? Is that like the
base?
The base, sorry. The All Hands and Hearts base here in Houston. And here next to me is Sophia.
Hello. I'm sorry. I'm the program director here in Houston. Hi.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Christina.
I am Christina Winter. I am the corporate relations manager for All Hands and Hearts.
Wonderful. And we got Andy here.
I'm Andy. I'm a volunteer at All Hands and Hearts.
Volunteer.
Jackie wants to know if Andy is in the room.
Andy Macadamius.
Andy is in the room.
Andy's in the room. And
He's our
one second.
gamer.
And I have here my little, phone cam. Whoop! Oh my goodness! Here to see a little bit the setup that we have here in one of the meeting rooms. And let me see, and let me just change the camera. And this is me here. This is the team, and then we got everybody here also. Here we
People
go.
have been kind of coming in and out.
Coming in and out, participating, and here we go. And switching that off again. Oh my God.
Something to Logan.
Please, why don't you jump in here?
I just wanted to say, oh my God, he admitted it. Hi, Logan.
Very good.
You've also
Love
been
these
asked
little
if there's
inside jokes.
We're being asked if there's a beta for Xbox as well.
There's no beta for Xbox right now. We are working on it. So we're actually currently working on, porting the game to multiple different platforms, including mobile. Mobile will be coming out in March, and hopefully Xbox will come out very soon after. Those are the next big steps there.
Okay, didn't mean to interrupt you. Telling about our...
Yeah, so that's the setup here, and so the association exactly. So we started in last year. One Earth Rising is a fairly new company. We started in February last year, and we started, like I said, with this endeavor to build social impact games. That means that we are focusing on good games first, meaning good games or great games for great people, communities like yourself, where the gameplay is the first most important part, of course, because we build games for players, for gamers, but at the same time all our games are connected to a social impact cause and want to drive engagement, want to drive kind of also like in the back end education. I'm always very soft on the education side because it's a very important part, but in our industry is almost like a swear word. If you say an educational game, that implies it's boring, which this is not, and so we don't want to ever be associated to that. However, there are educational elements in there, and we're growing that. We'll put also more in that, but it's always fun first. And more importantly, we share profits from the games with non-profit partners. So in that, when we started our company, we started with our first game, Paraiso Island, and we were lucky enough to be introduced to All Hands and Hearts in the very beginning. We started a process of identifying the opportunities and if we could work together and how this would look like, and here we are. We have this little island simulator. Here we're sitting directly now in Houston, and this is all tied to disaster relief. And and that's it's a lot of fun. That's how we met, and hopefully we'll be friends for a long time.
I think we'll be friends for a long time. Valerie is back at it.
Here we go.
She would like to know. I think Valerie, you should just drive over and join us.
Valerie, there's a volunteer spot just open for you.
That's it. We've got a bed for you. She wants to know where we're all from.
Oh wow! So the accent gives it away.
That's it.
Probably. So
with my accent. Huh?
yeah, of course. So you want to start?
Yes. Well, I'm Christina, and I am originally from the state of Alaska, and I moved to Ohio what I thought was going to be a temporary thing, and it ended up being a lifetime thing. And I got married, and Columbus, Ohio is a great place to live. I don't want to start any fights about football or any of that.
But not so close to the Super Bowl.
No, they
right?
get crazy about that. But I myself, I have boys, so I'm really excited the fact that people play football. And I have girls who like to watch it, so that works out nicely. So that's a little bit about me.
Wonderful. Sophia.
Hello, I'm Sophia. I am from Germany. My mom is from the US, my dad is from Germany, but I grew up in Germany. So I know I don't have a German accent, but yeah, I spent a lot of time
Where
the
in
States
Germany?
growing up. About an hour south of Frankfurt, a small town. Lots of vineyards.
Nice.
Not a lot of people know it though, but you're from Germany too.
I may, but Andy.
I'm from Philadelphia.
Brotherly
I'm
love.
from Philadelphia too. Hi.
Vancouver Island.
Houston.
Houston. Here we go. Somebody at least.
Houston's in the house.
I am also from Germany. I was born in Frankfurt, and I have been living here now. Here been in the United States for the last 9 years. Live in New York. Yes, exactly. So, I'm visiting here as well.
Andy, you're doing a great job.
Andy, absolutely. Andy is rocking it with the machete.
Machete.
With a machete.
I just tried to kill a starfish.
A child. Here we go. It's a child-friendly machete. Yeah, I just want to highlight that.
That's it.
Here we go. Give it to the tree.
Yeah.
We have had some locals at some of our programs, though, show us the proper use of a machete, and that has come in really handy, including snake attacks. You can kill them with machete quite well, apparently. But also cutting down just the weeds and things around an area that's been windblown and that there's debris. And, I mean, I'm being funny, but literally they know a lot more about it than we do. So when we talk about when volunteers come and we teach them things, we learn a lot of things too from the local people. And we hope to do that. They desire to learn to speak English. We teach English classes. We found ourselves without enough bricks, and so we formed a female brick builders in Nepal. So they now also, as when we had to leave, they had a way to continue to make money, and that's just another way that we bridge the gap.
I love it.
Whatever they need.
It's interesting. I wanted to ask that earlier when you talked about your Amazon wish list. So there's an Amazon wish list, everybody, for all hands and hearts, and it makes totally sense. I mean, when we walked through the rooms here when we first arrived, we saw the different rooms, and many of them are storage rooms for equipment. Lots of shovels, lots of lights. Some of them don't work, and so we definitely need some support here. You add that to the wish list, exactly. So no, but jokes aside, there's really, obviously, you guys are going out there and working and building and repairing and doing things every day. So there's so much to do where there is equipment needed, right? So there's donations, not only monetary donations, but things are very important, and everybody can really jump in, check out the wish list on Amazon, and get some items off this list, so that the people can work
There's something
properly.
for everybody on there too.
Something for
There's a box
everybody.
of screws or a generator. You can
Wow,
do
yeah,
whatever you want.
it goes down to all these little things. I heard an interesting story today, also downstairs, and that's again what I love so much: this whole engagement and this whole activity, the community here. And there was a story about the activities across, I think it was Mexico, where it was a lot about the engagement between. Funny enough, I mean, let me start this over. So you have people that are hit by disaster, so that's horrible enough, right? That brings people together. But then you have cultural differences and differences within the culture of a country, where normally sometimes people or women are not allowed in a workplace. But now when a disaster hits, all those rules are being thrown out the window. Specifically when somebody comes in and says, "Hey, we all need to put all hands and all hearts on deck and put them together and work." So I think your story was about a Korean woman there, and I think your story was about a Mexican men working close with a lot of their spouses even, right? So it's interesting how this all breaks this down, all these barriers,
It
right?
does. It's just point. That's why I said you're a good fit, because it takes that global circle and pulls it closer. And it is, you've brought up culture. That's something that's extremely important to us. So obviously we have programs all around the world. So we make sure when we go in to assess and decide to go into a program that we understand the culture. We have a community coordinator that's local, from the local area at each one, which obviously helps with language, but also getting us in contact with the right local officials, but also helping us understand the culture at every level, and the things, you know, that we should make sure that our volunteers know. And it also allows them, though, to engage as a volunteer in some of these like great festivals and things that people do. I know in Nepal, like, they have a blessing ceremony when they open a program, and then they have a ceremony when they close that, and then we dedicate the building. And there's a lot of dancing, and they invite the volunteers to dance, which is always hysterical. But so much more than just a volunteer experience and going. You are really kind of doing a deep dive for as long as you're there. You will get the same experience if you're there for a week or for a month. You just become part of this thing. And our families that we grow on the programs go out and become the community's families, and it's just so fun to me sometimes to make a comment on my own personal Facebook and have so many people not just talking to me but talking to each other that I had to think about it and thought, where do they know each other from? And that's something that's very, very common as well. As I walked in here, there was at least 2 people that I've been at different programs with. And once you've done one program, it only takes one. I always tell people, you're going to have that same thing, because everybody goes, it's so cool the way people do that. And you do one, and you just find, because it gets in your blood, and I think people just continue to do it. It's just amazing.
Fantastic. And let's use that opportunity also as a shout out, because I think there's one thing, I mentioned that before, the games that we build, they can only be amplifier for the amazing work that you guys do. But so everybody can also contribute, obviously on the gaming side. But what I wanted to say is, go out there to the social media channels. We're happy, obviously, also on One Earth Rising side if we gain more followers. We just started, but more importantly, get your friends to follow All Hands and Hearts on all the different channels, because all this amplification matters. Every share post matters, and it really grows and grows.
I just want to say real fast.
What's happening?
I did a great job changing the colors of this.
You did
I'm very
amazing.
proud of myself. Look at how awesome that looks.
Well, somebody thought you were up to something else.
Yes.
Andy, Hildy has a question for you.
Oh boy. What
Hildy
have a question for
is
me
one of
about?
our volunteers. She's not here at the moment, but she's coming back on Tuesday, actually. She wants to ask if you're cheating.
I
What?
would never do that.
It went black. She was afraid.
My skills are clearly incredibly good. Because look at the sand and the cyan grass.
Yeah, he worked hard to just earn his money and work his way there. That's all the community work he does in Paraiso Island. So that's the name of the game. Paraiso Island, currently available for free on PlayStation, and soon in March coming out on mobile, and then very soon, hopefully, also on Xbox and other other consoles, other PlayStations. So Paraiso Island, what we're doing here is currently playing the game, showing off the game, working here, sitting here in Houston with the wonderful team of All Hands and Hearts. So you're playing or seeing Andy play by the rules a island simulator where you build a community, you build things, you interior design your rooms, you interior design obviously the island. You can get seeds, you plant them, you grow them, you harvest them. Then you have a kitchen module. You can cook the food, run this business, sell this to other people, and so forth, and make money of that. So it's a whole community that you can build and grow with your friends soon, and then we will always add to that. And so what we do in the game here really is step by step translating also some of the causes that you guys care or stand for. But in this current state of the game, we're sharing also up to 30% of our revenue with All Hands and Heart from the DLC, the downloadable content that people can purchase in the store of the different platforms. So more importantly, there's one downloadable content, which is naturally in the little Bahamas Raccoon. And that downloadable content, all the fun that you can have with this character, that all the money that we make from that will 100% go to All Hands and Hearts Bahamas Relief Project.
Are we able to see her?
Yeah, so there was already a little cameo. Yeah, there was a cameo here.
And I wanted to tell you that you're a mind reader because Jalen Floyd asked the question, but you answered it before I asked it for him.
What was the question?
It was, what's the name of the game? And
What's
you were
the name
saying
of the
before
game?
What they wanted to know about it. There
Here
you
we
You
go.
got it.
See, yeah, I totally always forget. I mean, obviously people tuning in, tuning out, hopefully not, but tuning in, more and more coming on board. So, you get a wonderful, not sneak peek. I mean, we have 250,000 people playing this game currently and spend an average of 90 minutes there. So a couple of people have seen this before, but, it's still small, considered small in the environment of video games. Here we go. This is Naturalyn.
There she is.
Almost
Bahamas
blocked.
Raccoon.
The Bahamas Raccoon. So with her fun stuff that she has some challenges for you, and it's a lot of fun.
Insider information. Which is her house? 'Cause I wanna.
It's on the very south side of the island, next to. Here we go. Yeah, this one.
Okay. That's what I suspect. I just need to cut down all the trees around the house.
So you can see. I mean, if you take
She
a look.
wants that. I'm not just like a crazy person.
So, as you can see on the island, so you can see there's different characters. There will come more characters, and it's fun to see what people. What people are putting out, also what the different things are. When you see what people are actually planting and what they're building and so forth, it's so much fun to see when they're sharing it. Some people are building almost like an Ibiza-like beach club, and you can really do whatever you want. So one part, what I want to just say, also an ad from our side, please, send us your feedback, send us everything that you also would like to see in that game, other things that we might be able to do with All Hands and Hearts, and everything counts. That is brilliant for us.
And I don't know, I can't guarantee that you will see a Bahamian raccoon. But I do know that we will be in the Bahamas for the foreseeable future, and we would love to have volunteers come, and we have a beautiful new structure that they're putting together for the volunteers. I just was there in December, and it was, I've seen a lot of things, and it was shocking to me, just the level of destruction. So that is very much needed. So I personally invite every person that's watching this, if you haven't already gone on the website and checked it out, just take a look at it and just think about it. It's a wonderful thing to do, and it's a good thing to do for yourself because you'll be forever changed.
Wonderful. Thank you. I mean, this is really what we can leave you guys with. The work, the little insight we got here were amazing, and we are very grateful for that. And there is so much more to come, unfortunately, because there's always disasters happening. So there's a lot of support needed. I think, if we don't have any other questions, I think we would wrap this up. But we thank you very much. I mean, from our side, All Hands and Hearts, thank you very much. Warner's Rising team had an amazing time here. Felt very welcome here. And we would love to come back and do this again. This was a lot of fun. Andy, was it fun?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun. I was like, oh really? You guys
really? No, you can continue playing. Yeah, we'll let you.
Okay, great.
So it was a great fun. Please, again, leave comments. We'll obviously put this feed then up, the recording onto the different Facebook pages and so forth. You can watch that again, all the feedback that you have. Sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the social channels, also. So everything that you can do to support and share and amplify the mission that All Hands and Heart is active in. And with that, I want to wrap this up. I want to thank you, Andy, really, for playing amazingly. Thank you, Sophia, and thank you, Christina.
Absolutely, thank you guys.
It was incredible, and all the rest here that supported. Thank you. And with that, we'll leave you, and we're looking forward to coming back soon.
Thanks for the great questions.
Yeah, thanks for the great questions.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Thank you.